Hey, how y'all doing? Today we're gonna be talking about Dame Dash and his Breakfast Club interview. He went over some topics that's kind of been in the media. He went over his debt, his tax debt. He went over some lawsuits, and we just go look at those clips and we gonna analyze them. So first thing first, if you know anything about Dame Dash and the Breakfast Club relationship, you know that they have a love-hate relationship, I would say. And so like last time they was on there, he had the big chatty patty. You're not a boss, you're an employee. He's very much on DJ Envy about saying that basically his son shouldn't respect him because he has a boss and things of that nature. And it's kind of funny, honestly. There's a lot of irony in the situation that the fact that he's $25 million in IRS debt, and that's just the IRS tax debt that we know about, not including, bad business ventures that he 9 times out of 10 got loans for, or owe money to his partners and things of those natures, because he has been sued by multiple people. The reason why he did file for bankruptcy. Now let's not get this wrong. Just because you file for bankruptcy, especially in business, doesn't mean that you're completely broke. 9 times out of 10. It just means that you need to reallocate some assets to help pay off the debt. So basically meaning you don't have enough liquid cash to pay off the debt. So the courts is gonna look at your affairs. They're gonna see what assets can be sold off so you can pay off your lenders, right? So the big thing about this is that Dame Dash, and I'm gonna show you the clip, is big on hey, I'm a boss, I'm a CEO. You're a worker, blah, 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 blah. If you don't put your own money up, right? If you don't put your own money up, then you're not a boss, right? Even though if you know anything one-on-one in business, putting your 100% of your own money up is probably the dumbest thing you can do, because think of this, most business ventures just doesn't work out, right? So if you're putting all 100% of your money into a business venture, it just doesn't make sense, because you're not giving yourself anything, a cushion to fall on for your personal life, right? So say you put 100,000 cash money into a business, but that's all of the liquid cash that you have, and you probably have $2,000 left. How, if anything goes wrong in your life, you're not gonna have an emergency fund to get that back up, right? So that's why it was kind of weird. And when I first seen the clip years ago, and I was younger, and I still understood that this didn't make sense, right? And I didn't know anything as much as I do now, right? So I'm gonna show you that real quick.
I don't care. I take my props.
Word.
Give a fuck about props. I care. I do get my props. I'm not a mogul. I'm a tycoon. I sell oil. Don't disrespect me and say I do everything everybody else does. And I put up my own money. All these so-called moguls y'all talking about, you name one of them that put their own dough up. A boss, you're only the boss if you put up your own money. If you don't put up your own money, I don't care how much somebody gives you, you're nothing but a supervisor. It's not yours. So how much money can you get paid to not? There's no money in this world for someone to pay me so they could call me, so I could call them a boss. That's like calling somebody daddy. How can a man call another man, yo, that's my boss? We don't do that.
I mean, everybody at some point has to have a boss, right?
No, not in Harlem. Oh, okay. Put it like this.
Because you're somebody's boss.
No, I'm not somebody's boss. When I was in the street, someone wasn't your boss. They gave you an opportunity.
Okay.
They gave you some work. You go make it, and then you bring it back. You can go buy your own work. You do whatever you want. It's called consignment.
So why this can't be all work? This corporate America, we could be using
you don't
this.
own it.
But
I'm telling you. No, I'm telling you why. I'm telling you why. Question. Let me answer your question. Can you give it to your son?
Can I give what to my son?
Whatever you
shares
working
of this
for.
company, I
Yeah.
absolutely positively can.
How?
Why? Because I own shares of this company.
You bought them?
Yes.
What I'm saying is, can your son eat? Is this yours to give the whole company
This
to
full
you?
company is
I'm
not
asking
my
you-
son's. No,
Exactly.
It's not mine. But I own shares of this
Stop.
company.
Listen. That's not my
listening.
question. If your son needs a job here, can you give it to him? No.
No.
If your son needs to get some money out the bank from here, some cash flow, can he get it?
No.
All right, you don't own this.
But I can take
Stop.
the, I
I'm
can
just
take the
telling
money
you.
from here to invest in myself.
No, it's not yours. I'm not gonna fight for something I don't own. Men don't do that. I don't fight for other niggas. I fight for me. I'm not a doula. I'm not gonna build somebody else's company and then take shares so my son can. All that.
See, but I'm not
no,
fighting for this
listen,
company,
listen.
though.
What I'm saying.
But what about taking the
I'm
money?
not-
You come
the
to
same
work
way you
every
took the
day.
money from
But
Def
I come to
Jam.
work-
I didn't take.
or
Wait, stop! Don't say
I
you
come
speaking
to
my
work because I
business and you
enjoy
don't
it.
know what you're talking about. I ain't take no money from Def Jam. What you talking
When I mean
about?
take, I mean they cut you a
No,
check.
they didn't cut me a check. We had a formula based on performance, and they calculated, and we got paid.
That's
And they,
how-
So as you've seen, he said, if you don't put your own money up, you're not a boss. He's basically telling DJ Envy, hey, since you're here on Breakfast Club, could you give your son this company? He was like, no. He was like, could they take cash flow out of the business? He was like, no. He was like, so you're nothing, basically. He was like, so you're nothing. You need to do this, right? So fast forward 10 years later, right? And Dame Dash is in debt. Multiple $1 million in debt, right? So he comes and talks. There was news that broke that 50 Cent bought the rights of Paid in Full. And so that's one of the first topics he talked about. So let's see what Dame Dash had to say about 50 Cent claiming to buy the rights of Paid in Full.
just because I'm like, when I see them, we'll talk about it. So what were your questions? You were saying something.
My first question was about the Paid in Full.
What about it?
Did you own Paid in Full? Like, how did 50 Cent acquire ownership of Paid in Full?
Let me ask you a question. Let's put this in.
That's not how this works, Dan. No.
I'm sorry.
I asked the question.
You just cut me off. Right? Now I want you to notice every time you do that.
Okay.
And they would say I'm bugging if I yelled, but please let me complete my sentence. And
Yes.
please don't tell me how we do things. That's going to be a trigger. So I'm just talking normally. Do you remember when 50 Cent was supposed to be putting out a documentary about Puff on Netflix?
Yes.
Where is it?
I think it's still happening.
Yeah, right. He's capping. So I talk a different language than most people. I'm a boss. So number one, there is no rights to be bought. So I knew he was trolling. And you got to remember, KM tried to have my son come on. Well, let me ask you this. Do you think messing with people's children is all right? Can you answer that question?
No,
that's not fair.
No, because you didn't answer the original
I
question.
did answer it. I just told you. He's capping.
So he didn't get the rights to it.
How would that's the thing is, you know what the problem is?
The problem is how
you
we
cut me
supposed
off
to know
again.
these things? I'm asking you a question for you
You
to
cut
answer,
me off
Dave.
again. See this?
No.
Let's take a commercial break.
Come on,
You
man.
keep cutting me. You don't think that's problematic that you keep cutting people off and you're interviewing them?
Okay.
You're really trying to tell me how to answer, and you expect me not
No,
to
I
be
just want you
triggered?
to answer.
Are you trying to trigger me?
No, I just want you to answer.
Okay. So then let me. Yeah, how can I answer? You keep cutting me off.
Okay.
I told you he doesn't have the rights. No one has the rights. Who are you gonna buy the rights from? I wasn't planning on making Paid in Full about those people. Again, I was making my Paid in Full. And, you don't have to buy the rights. I was actually there. So, 50 troll.
Now, as you can see in that clip, Dame Dash says that 50 Cent didn't buy the rights of Paid in Full. He claims that there are no rights to Paid in Full. And he didn't need the rights to Paid in Full in the first place because he knew the people, right? Well, let's talk about that, right? If you know anything about just the general base of business, and especially entertainment business, you would know that copyrights are a thing, right? Everything that's publicly, most things that are publicly imported, they have a copyright to it. So, for instance, that's why you can't just hijack things. If things didn't have copyrights, you would be able to copy every single thing. For instance, if the NFL didn't have a copyright, you would be able to just to stream it without any consequences. It wouldn't get shut down off of sites and things of those natures, right? So that's just a complete lie. I don't know why he thinks that like we slow to believe that, but as he said but hey, that's his statement. He said that 50 Cent cannot buy the rights because there are no rights, but it was it was pushed through a production company, and you know, to make money off of something, you have to pretty much copyright it, to monetize off of it, and to have like merch and things of those natures. You have to have some type of business in place to say that you own this intellectual property, and that you have the, you know, these are real, like for instance, the Paid in Full movie is about real people. It's about a real story. So these people will have to literally give you the life rights because you are using their name. It's not like it would be different if it was the same setting of the story, but you use different names. But the fact that you actually use these people's names and their likeness, you have to get their life rights signed over. They have to sign their life rights over to you, or do some type of deal with their life rights for you to even portray them in the movie. If that was the case, anybody could create any type of biopic about any famous person without any legal ramifications. So the next topic we're going to talk about with Dame Dash is his IRS tax bill, right? So he owes the IRS about $25 million in back taxes. And as you know, he's not making $40 million a year, right? So, or $45 million, $50 million a year. So it's not from this year or last year's tax bill. This is years and years of back taxes. He explained later on in the interview, and I'm gonna pull that clip up as well for you, that he had I'm guessing an accountant that didn't pay his taxes, but he claims to be this smart CEO. So why would you not make sure that your accountant, paying your taxes, especially for a business? It'd be kind of different for like athletes that doesn't have the financial literacy, or even artists that doesn't have the financial literacy, and they just trust in their CPAs. But you are a CEO of a company, right? You are this boss, you're just an entrepreneur, you're just big mogul. So you would, at bare minimum, look over your books and make sure that your taxes are paid, and make sure that the people that you employ are doing their job, right? So we're going to listen to his rambling about the $25 million that he owed in back taxes. And this will have to be for at least like 10, 15 years. I'm honestly surprised that he hasn't been in jail for tax fraud.
Because in order to have $30 million means you made a lot. Mm-hmm. So in order to pay it back, I can't get a job to pay it back. I got to keep investing until I could pay it back. Nothing could be in my name. They put liens on all my accounts years ago. So that's why when they said there's nothing in your account, I don't have an account. How could I open one? They liened it. Mm-hmm. So I've been building my family office. So you have no assets. I have no assets, but my family, that's all I care about. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So I filed, because that guy Chris Brown has been suing me. And I was going to make a bunch of very major family...
People listen, he's not talking about the artist and the singer Chris Brown. Right. Because people will think that. But
and I didn't mind you interrupting me to do that.
I apologize, but I wanted to clear things up.
I appreciate that. So every time I was launching something with my family office, he sent a letter saying that, I'd owe the money, but it was my family office. But it
So that's his reasoning behind, the $25 million in debt. Hey, I never even seen nowhere near $25 million. So, hey, I wouldn't know. Hey, maybe, hey, you doing so much business out here. You're running around being this big business mogul. You don't have time to, hey, call up your CPA and be like, hey, go ahead and email me those, email me the receipts that you paid tax bill, or something simple as that. Maybe he doesn't have the time. He don't. His assistants doesn't have the time to make sure that his taxes are paid. He also said that he's not broke. Technically, all of his money is in a trust. All of his money is in his family's trust, and he's pulling a Walton's a Walton's 780 IQ score. 780 IQ score finagle on the government, and he doesn't own any assets, but he doesn't own personal assets. Everything is in his trust, and it's all an illusion that that he's $25 million in debt, and that he actually doesn't owe all these people that's suing him. It's an illusion, and they're just trying to, basically bring him down. This next statement that he makes, very contradicting. When he makes the statement that but he's the chairman of Revolt TV, it kind of it raised my eyebrow when I first heard it, right? And the reason it raised my eyebrow is because if you know anything, like I said, business 101, if you don't have any assets, right? As you said, you don't have any assets. What did you leverage to buy a piece of the company? Because to be a chairman of a company, you are a major stakeholder of a company. You have to, if I'm not mistaken, you have to hold at bare minimum 10% of a company. Which, if you if you buy 10% of a company, you have to disclose that publicly, right? That's the federal law. So clearly that isn't true, right? And he contradicts himself when he's talking about 50 Cent. He said that these inquiries aren't in Deadline, which is a site that basically shows you business deals, right? It's an article, and it shows you a lot of business deals that's happening in the world. Because if you know anything about business, the news and people inquiring and selling their business, it affects the stock market. So you want to read up on these things. You want to know what you want to invest in. You want to know what you don't want to invest in, things of that nature, right? What companies are losing their investors, what companies are gaining investors, right? So he's basically saying that this wasn't in this business article that 50 Cent, bought the rights of Paid in Full. And he said that, he said that he is the chairman of Revolt now. But when they asked him about it and asked him why is that not in Deadline, he lies. He basically blatantly lies. This interview was, if I'm not mistaken, it was either conducted on September 14th or September 15th. And because Breakfast Club doesn't release the interview as soon as it's not a live interview, right? So they edited it and everything like that, and they uploaded it into the radio airs and on the internet. So once he said that, it kind of raised a red flag. I did just a quick Google search and seen, because he said that it was going to be publicly announced today. And when this video is recording, it's about 2:00 in New York. I'm in Central Time, so it's about 2:00 on the East Coast. So it would have been out by now. Like this is a article that would have been written, edited, and uploaded up on the site by now. And we all know that Dame Dash doesn't have the money to inquire Revolt, to be even a chairman, to get 10% of Revolt. So it was a blatant lie. I don't understand why he think we believe that. If you're $25 million in debt to the IRS, something that you can, that they could, take assets from you for, unless you have a, basically a payment plan to pay them back. He probably does. Why would you not? No. It just doesn't make sense, right? And then he said that, he has to invest to be able to pay this money back, but he said that his accounts are frozen. So what exactly are you investing? I'm guessing he's saying that he's investing the money that's in his trust, but I just don't believe he have a trust, right? So that's just me, though. That is my personal opinion. The rest of the interview didn't really have any substance. He expounded on a couple of the topics in the beginning of it. That was asked in the beginning, but it was really just talking in circles. Him and Charlamagne, they got into a catty little back and forth, but nothing that doesn't really happen with Charlamagne, you know. So it wasn't really anything. Really, just Dame Dash just exposed himself for the lack of intelligence that he has. You know, he's not a very intelligent person. He doesn't think things through, and he definitely doesn't think about what he says. And I'm going to kind of expound on that because, like, he exposed himself not knowing what network mean, but he's supposed to be this super mogul, but you don't know what a network is. You don't know the true definition of network. So honestly, I wouldn't take Dame Dash serious. Dame Dash, don't take me wrong, right? Dame Dash in the late 90s, early 2000s, he was that guy. But we have to understand that he had Jay-Z to help, right? And we see where the two are in their differences in 2025, right? They both started a company together. One is worth multiple billions of dollars, about $2 billion. And another one is $25 million in debt. So we can kind of see who carried that company. I'm not saying that Dame Dash didn't have inventive ideas. He, for instance, the Paid in Full movie was brilliant, probably one of my favorite movies of all time. But when you don't know how to manage your business, and you also don't know how to talk to people and how to build relationships and keep at least professional relationships, you're gonna always be in this downward spiral, and it's gonna be hard for people to reach out and help you. Because honestly, if Jay-Z just wanted to branch out and do his own thing, but him and Dame kept a cordial business relationship, I'm sure Jay-Z wouldn't mind putting him in position to get him out of that debt. I'm not saying give him $25 million. That's crazy, billionaire or not. But he can at least put him in the rooms where he can get the money to make sure that he doesn't have to sell off all his assets as he had to do. For instance, like losing Reasonable Doubt and only getting about, I think, a quarter of what he was asking for. So it just kind of shows that there's nothing wrong with having confidence, but you can't be too cocky. And you can't burn bridges. And even if you don't agree with somebody, it's honestly better to just not talk to the person and not say anything about the person. Like big thing in the South, if it's a big thing in the South, the saying is, if you have nothing nice to say, don't say it at all. I'm sure that's a universal saying, but I know I heard it a lot in the South. If you don't have anything nice to say, just don't say it at all. You know? So this is the topic about Dame Dash. It's gonna be I'm sure there's gonna be some more news about him in the media, but I don't think I'm really gonna cover it. I just want to kind of show that you can talk a good game, but that doesn't really mean that you know what you're talking about. So that's pretty much it for the topic for this video. Hope y'all have a good day, and see y'all later.